Hello everybody, we're in Arctic region here at the Lighthouse. From the European server, it's El Desperados in his AMX 1357 Grand Final Edition for Volume 23 of Cool Comeback Cinema. Now remember, there's two ways to qualify for Cool Comeback Cinema. You have to be in a scout, you have to fall behind at the end of the match, just you, against 4 or more enemy tanks and win, or at some point in the battle your team has to be behind by 6 or more tanks and you play a significant part in coming back and winning. In this film, his team gets off to a horrible start even though he's doing good as a scout, and they end up 7 tanks behind. For a lot of the middle portion of the battle, they're 7 tanks behind, but the remaining tanks work together. They don't panic, they don't give up on the fight, and they pull out a win. Let's watch how this goes down. So I think he might have wanted to move up here, but when the 2801 went that way too, he elected to move to this other bush. And as you can see, they're getting spots. Within the first 30 seconds of the game, they're starting to get spots, and they just keep getting more and more spots. But the snipers aren't doing very well. Watch how far behind they get. This, as you will soon see, starts off with a blowout loss written all over it. 1-0 down. It gets a lot worse. And El Desperados must be cursing right now because the team's getting a lot of spots. They just aren't killing anything. Now it's 2-0. 3. Now they're 2,000 behind on hit points and 4 tanks down. This is not looking good. The only thing they have to their advantage, 5-0, is they did win the pass on the south because it was pretty much unopposed. Six to nothing. Talk about a bad start to a game. And you got to be thinking, man, this is a complete waste of time right now. But you can't give up. You have to fight on. So many people lose battles. Maybe they would have won because they just give up. And now he figures, man, I need to start getting in this game. Been sitting here long enough. 8-1, people. There's 7 tanks down. They were briefly 7-0, and then it went 8-1. Pretty soon it's going to be 9-2. And you know the other team's celebrating an easy win right now. They think they have this locked up. Nine to 2, back to 7-point deficit. The gun on this thing is insane. I haven't played it since the major light nerf, but I really need it because it had to become one of the top scouts in its tier. I think all the premium scouts did. So they've managed to catch up one tank, and they've caught up a lot on hit points. They've caught up about 33% of what they were down on hit points, so there's still hope. And the key thing, nobody's punted. You haven't seen anybody suicide. Nobody ran into the water or jumped off a cliff. Everybody's trying to fight. And now they're back within 5. 4. I wonder if the other side's getting nervous yet. There he goes for the cupula. Good shot. Good aim.
Penetration. Enemy armor is hit. Penetration.
It's down to a 2-tank deficit. Now, they're still down. They're down 3 tanks right now, but they have a lead on hit points. So they've managed to swing the hit point deficit by approximately 2,700 points, and things are starting to look up. Now personally, I'm reloading long before this, but I think he knew there was an easy kill out there and he didn't want to get caught reloading when he found it. I would have reloaded a long time ago. You can't really complain, man. He's down 7 points and they pull him to come back, so. And it works out because he ends up cashing right here and killing him. Now they've tied the game with a huge hit point lead. Now he reloads and gets ready for the next battle. I'm thinking everybody's over there on the 1 and 2 column, so except for the 71.
Platoon created.
And they go for the Brothers in Arms, or whatever it's called now. Hey, there's teammate.
Enemy armor is hit.
Dead.
Penetration.
Now here's what I find curious, okay? The El Desperados and the T-34 hooked up to get the Brothers in Arms medal. And it kind of makes sense because they were fighting up there in the north together. But man, there's just no love being shown for that T-29, who basically held this flank a lot by himself in the middle part of the fight, and he did really well. So no reward for him. They don't give him a medal. I just thought that was curious. He wasn't fighting directly with them, but you know, he's not the best player in the world, but in this game he played pretty strong. So hey, give that guy some love too. He helped win the game.
Penetration.
I personally, I don't ever join for BIA. I could care less about that medal, but I know a lot of people do it. If they ever make medals give me XP or credits or something like that, yeah, then I'll accept every offer I get for it. So here we go. There's only 3 tanks left on the enemy team. They're mostly back in here somewhere. Only the T-71's known. Artie was last seen over here. He's probably still there. I doubt he ran for it. Nobody's gone over there to get him. TD, I don't know. The TD was on that middle balcony. So he's probably back up in here somewhere, but don't know where. And I think the El Desperados is wary of chasing the T-71 because he doesn't know where the TD is. T-71's an easy kill. He'd go in a shootout with the T-71 100% of the time. And yep, there's the 103 hiding back there. T-71's trying to bait people into him, which is smart on his part. So El Desperado's trying to circle around, and as he does, the last 2 tanks get taken out, and the comeback is complete. They were down 9-2. 6 tanks versus 13, slightly greater than 2-1 odds. They stayed the course. They had 2 little groups of tanks, one working up here, another one working down here. The T-34, what was his name? Rosenheim. I grew up on Heim Road in Pennsylvania because everywhere probably 75 of the people in the community where I grew up were German, so there's a lot of German names around. And so we had the one group working up here with the T-34-85 Mike and El Desperados doing the majority of the work, and then down here there's some other tanks with the T-29 doing the majority of the work down there, and they managed to hold off the assault, which was helped by the fact that, especially to the south, they never tried to overwhelm anybody. To the north, they came up here and then they started peeking. They had greater than 2-1 odds, and they didn't get aggressive. When you're ahead that far, blitzkrieg, overwhelm the enemy, rush them with everybody. They can't outshoot you. You have too many guns, and you see it time and time again, especially on comebacks. People don't attack when they have the lead. They move up and they play the same old way as always. Oh, there's one tank, I'm going to stop and peekaboo. Well, there's 4 of you and 1 of them. If you would all just go forward, that guy would get to shoot you 2 or 3 times and he's dead. But people don't do it. They play the same way no matter what the tactical situation calls for. So be aware of what's going on. When you're behind, do what they just did. Turtle up at defensive positions and hold the fort as best you can. Sometimes you have an amazing comeback like this. If you're on the side that has the lead, everybody attack together. You win that way, and you don't blow games and end up having to explain to yourself how you managed to lose such an easy win. So El Desperados joins the club on Cool Comeback Cinema. Thank you for submitting that film. If anybody else has a film out there, if you're alone at the end of the fight against 4 or more tanks and you're in a scout and you win, submit the film. If you are on a team that goes down by 6 or more tanks and you're in a scout and you win and you play a significant portion in the comeback, submit the film and I'll turn you into a video too. Happy hunting.